My name is Graeme Mcfarlane. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for Albert Labs. Albert Labs was formed specifically for this task, and the task is this, that we want to bring psilocybin to the UK and Europe in the research setting that we call real-world evidence, and actually get patient access to this. I've been watching this, I've been looking at this over the last few weeks and months, this particular area of cancer-related anxiety. It is a huge unmet need, and I mean a huge unmet need. There are patients out there that are suffering today. If we took the traditional route of a clinical trial, which frankly is unnecessary because we already know what the active ingredient is, but if we took that route, those same patients would be waiting 6-7 years to get access. Only the patients who are in the trial would have access over that period, if you like, and that's a small number compared to that whole population. The UK alone has 1.2 million patients in the UK, 30 to 40% that represents of cancer patients who also have anxiety. And that's understandable. If you were told tomorrow that you've got cancer, you're not going to go singing and dancing out the door. You're going to be thoroughly upset about that. And we can do something about that, and we can do it today. And that's my point, and that's why I'm here. That's why Albert Labs exists. We want to get this in front of patients now. As you know, the national agenda for cancer is very high in the UK, as is mental health. Both have been experiencing a lot of investment and service redesign. And that's where I live. I was from the pharmaceutical industry and biotech. Much of our work was actually in complex specialist medicines, difficult to bring to market, but very, very important for the patient groups who we're dealing with. So patients who had mental health issues and also cancers. So it's an area I'm familiar with. And working in Albert Labs, some of that learning is applicable to what we're trying to do here in bringing what is a novel therapy to a market that is largely an unmet need. Real-world evidence is, as it describes, it all happens out there in the world setting, if you like. That world being the clinic setting where patients are actually toe-to-toe with their therapist, their doctor, and other people who are expert in that area. If you can compare that with random clinical trials, RCTs, they tend to be lengthy, many years, and they're also designed to identify whether their identified molecule, which the pharma companies and the biotech have developed through the lab setting, to allow them to actually look at it and see if it actually works. We have decades, if not thousands of years of experience here with the drug we're talking about. And we don't need to do that. We can go straight to patient level evaluation. And that works best if you're actually in the clinic setting, where the patient actually goes to get their treatment. It shows the processes, it reflects the outcomes, not just in the clinical setting, but also in the real world with the clinician treating them, and patient feedback as well. So we're getting the whole round, if you like, experience of what the patient goes through from first introduction to outcome. And that's real world. And it wouldn't exist unless we had data to support that. And we do have big data now, which allows us to do this. Cancer-related anxiety meets a number of high priorities for the UK government and the healthcare system. That's a fact. Cancer's on the national agenda, as is mental health. We've chosen that because of those two facets, but also because the patients involved need treatment. This is an unmet need. This is a term that's used a lot in health, but this is an unmet need. For many, many years, mental health was regarded as the Cinderella service, right? There was nothing going into it. There is now, and that allows us to do this. Processes are getting better. Psychotherapy is more informed now. People know what they're dealing with. And all the proof there says that we can actually make a difference to that. The good thing I find about this whole area, right, is that by choosing the real world evidence route, we can actually bring our drug to market much quicker than would be the case if we actually went down the clinical trial route. And that's important. That is really important, because the patients don't want to wait tomorrow or 7 years. They would actually benefit from it now. Well, let's not forget, these patients are suffering from cancer. They're on concomitant therapies. They've been treated for other matters, okay? We're trying to relieve this side, the anxiety, the depression side, more the anxiety, forgive me. When you've got a family that you can no longer connect with, you don't know how to love, right? You don't know how to actually socialise anymore. Everything's very inward, it's very insular. You're closed off and you actually see it as a patient, right? They actually know they're closing off. They're hurting people, okay? You treat the patient, you're treating the family as well. You're treating the partners, you're treating the kids, you're treating them all, right? And that to me is exciting. The purpose of the real world evidence study is manifold. I mean, primarily it's to actually show that it works, what we're doing, and actually helps patients, right? But beyond that, it creates a patient cohort that comes through a particular unit. Now, we have 5 units set up in the UK already. We'll attract our patients that way. The patients in the study, we're paying for the drug, okay? That's a given. When the trial ends, and if they need more after that, if there's a follow-on treatment pathway, then they'll be paying for that. They'll be paying that through the specialist route. But the big part of this is establishing habits, all right? So the clinicians see this works, they want to use it, they want to prescribe it. That's when we make money. They prescribe, the NHS pays us for the packs, and we're making money, okay? And that is forecast to happen at 1 to 6 after publication. We will be publishing, of course, right? And that starts with the protocol, right? If you publish the protocol, you're seen to be ethical, okay? And that's a fact. Most companies do that, and that's a good thing. What that also does for us is it provides PR that we're actually heading down this direction and we're serious, okay? So publishing is good. Publishing the protocol also attracts interested people. So there are centres out there that we may not be in contact with who say, I'm interested in becoming part of your trial. Can you please advise how we do that? So you're doing numbers of things there. But you're setting up, when you start talking about RWEs and IP to Albert Labs, you're starting to set up your IP there. Okay, we're different, we're doing this, we're going to own this data at the end of it, and we're going to publish. Okay? And then when we come to publishing it, it'll go in the British Journal of Medicine, it'll go in the Lancet, it'll go in the cream, the top end, yeah? And that gives us huge kudos. You can't, and this is back to IP, you can't claim a class effect for a drug that's been researched as thoroughly as this in a patient cohort that we've selected, okay? So if there's anybody out there producing this, or something similar, or probably a different dose range, that's almost certain, because we'll have a different dose range, right? They can't claim class effect. The IP is protected because we've actually done the right things from the very first step. We own that, and we own the data. Sticking to real law, definitely. For all the reasons I gave. This is about speed, getting in front of patients, make sure they get it. Can't do this 6 or 7 years waiting, knowing there's something there we can actually bring. It's not our behaviour. Yeah, we're different. We want to behave in an ethical manner. We care about what happens. We want the patient at the end of the day to be better, right? And we're a good business.